D&D has the most popular, epic, and talked about adventures out there, from the gothic horror of Curse of Strahd to the frozen dread of Rime of the Frost Maiden. But what if you and your group prefer the speed and pulp action of Savage Worlds like I do? Do we have to miss out on those amazing stories? Absolutely not. Today, we're learning the secrets to pulling off the perfect heist. We're going to plunder those epic campaigns and run them using the fast, furious, fun rules you love, without getting tangled up in conversion charts and miserable spreadsheets. Before we crack the vault, we need to get our heads on straight. There is one golden rule for this whole operation. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Do not convert. Translate. Let me say that again. You are not converting mechanics. You are translating ideas. Think of it like a movie script. The D&D adventure book is your script. It's got the plot, the characters, the locations, the big scenes. D&D 5e is one director's take on that script. It's a perfectly fine take, but it's a specific one, focused on attrition, the slow grinding drain of hit points and spell slots over a long day of adventuring and encounters. Savage Worlds is a different director. It's the pulp action director who wants something more cinematic, swingy, and dramatic. The script, the core story, stays the same, but the way you shoot it, the way you bring it to life, is totally different. Your job as the game master is to be that new director, using the Savage Worlds toolset to tell that same great story. We need to forget one-to-one mechanical swaps, because that path, it leads to madness. But we're here to make it easy, so let's get to the 5-step heist plan. Step 1 is to map the story. First things first, you gotta case the joint. Read the D&D module, but not like you normally would. You're reading it for the bones, looking for the narrative skeleton. Grab a notebook and jot down the answers to some of these questions. First, who are the major villains and key allies? And what do they want? What are their goals? Second, what are the most important locations? What purpose do they serve in the story? 3, what are the major plot points, the big reveals, and the critical choices the players have to make along the way? 4, what are the big set piece encounters? I'm not talking about the 3 skeletons in a random hallway. I mean the rooftop chase, the ritual by the standing stones, or the final showdown with the vampire lord. Ignore the stat blocks, ignore the trap DCs, ignore the treasure tables. You are just panning for a pure story. Once you're done, you should have a few pages of notes that outline the adventure's plot and structure, completely free of D&D's mechanics. You have your script. Now it's time to start shooting. Shooting with a camera, not with a gun, just to be clear. Step 2 is to steal the monsters. The easy way. This is where most people get tripped up. They see a D&D stat block and think they need to re-engineer a creature from scratch in Savage Worlds. Don't. That's the slow way. We're doing a smash and grab. Just look at the D&D monster and ask yourself this one simple question. What is its job in this scene? Is it a shambling horde of zombies? Open your Savage Worlds rulebook and find the zombie stat block and use it. Is it a heavily armored knight commanding a city watch? Perfect. Grab the stat block for a knight or a seasoned warrior or a city guard and make it a wild card. You can grab this from the Fantasy Companion or from another book and you're good to go. You are reskinning, not rebuilding. You take the idea of the monster and find its closest cousin in one of your favorite Savage Worlds bestiaries. And that's right, I said it right, it's bestiaries. I don't like it, but it's bestiary. For your main villains, the Strahds and Vecnas of the world, you do the exact same thing with one tiny addition. Find the closest stat block, like a master vampire or a lich, and just make them a wild card, which, to be fair, they probably should be anyways. You give them your extra wounds and the wild die, and that's all you really need to do to make them a considerable threat in Savage Worlds. And if you want to take the time to modify those stat blocks a little bit, maybe add in a few other abilities that are specific to Strahd or Vecna, go ahead and do so. The important part is to capture the narrative importance without breaking a sweat. Step 3, translate the treasure and traps. D&D has a very specific magic item economy that just doesn't exist in Savage Worlds. Trying to copy it is a bit of a fool's errand. Instead, we translate the concept of the item, not its exact mechanics. Does the module say the players find a +1 longsword? In Savage Worlds, that's a magic sword that grants a +1 to fighting and damage. A wand of fireballs? That's just a wand that lets the user cast the blast power with a fire trapping, and it has its own pool of charges. For legendary items like the Sun Sword and Curse of Strahd, just think about what it does for the story. It's a holy weapon that fights darkness and wrecks vampires. Give it a damage bonus against supernatural evil, make it glow, and you've got it. However, I do want to caution you to be careful in doing these translations. A +1 longsword in Savage Worlds is a lot stronger than one in D&D. If using Pathfinder for Savage Worlds or the Fantasy Companion, look at the magic item selections in those books to see if they offer something similar to the key item you are trying to replace. And the same idea applies to traps. Don't get lost in DC 17 perception check to spot and a DC 15 dexterity save to avoid. That's D&D speak. What does the trap do? Is it a hidden pit? That's a notice roll to spot it. Maybe a penalty if it's well hidden. Fail an athletics roll and you're in it. A magical fire trap? Again, maybe a notice roll to find it, and failing to disarm it means taking some damage from a blast of fire. You just use these simple, elegant tools already available in Savage Worlds. And again, if you can, get inspiration for these replacements from the Fantasy Companion or Savage Pathfinder. But if it slows you down, just wait. Step 4 is to reimagine social and skill challenges. And this might be the easiest step of all. Anytime you see a skill check in the D&D module, like a DC 18 persuasion check, ignore the number. In Savage Worlds, you don't have DCs that are set by the book or by the GM. You roll against the target number of 4. And the initial attitude of the NPC you are interacting with is up to a die roll or to the GM themselves. Use the Savage Worlds system as it is already set up to work. And that's it. It's faster, it's more dynamic, and it's how the system is built to run. If you want to replace these social encounters with dramatic tasks or social conflicts, go ahead and do it. Savage Worlds is a toolbox, and you can use the tools at your disposal. And for simple tasks like climbing a wall or cracking a simple code, the target number is still 4, always. The only thing that really changes is the modifiers. A slightly slippery wall might be a -1, while a sheer icy cliff face in a blizzard might be a -4, honestly maybe a -6. This unified mechanic is one of the best aspects of Savage Worlds, making it almost effortless to translate challenges. Don't worry about mapping every D&D skill to a Savage Worlds skill. Just ask, what is the character trying to do, and pick the skill that fits. Step 5 is to embrace the differences. This is the most important part. Stop trying to make Savage Worlds feel like D&D. Let it be what it is, a unique and thrilling system. D&D modules often include filler fights designed to wear down the party gradually. Savage Worlds doesn't need that. The system is built for fewer, more meaningful, and more explosive encounters. So when you see a dungeon with 12 rooms and 8 of them have a few random ghouls, cut them out. Seriously, just get rid of them. Or use the quick encounter rules to resolve it with a single roll and describe how the heroes breeze through these lesser undead. This keeps the pace fast and saves energy for the scenes that matter. And don't forget to use your bennies. Bennies are the soul of Savage Worlds. They let players turn a certain TPK into a heroic comeback. A single lucky goblin can technically take out a hero with one good roll, but a Benny can soak that damage and keep the action movie going. Encourage your players to use them, and lean into all the conditions that are inside Savage Worlds. Fights in Savage Worlds aren't a slow march to 0 hit points. They are chaotic and messy, with heroes getting rattled and having to regain their nerve. And this dynamic changes the entire flow of combat and makes every enemy a potential threat if they can keep a hero off balance. And that's the heist. It's not about complicated formulas or hours with a calculator. It's a change in mindset. You map the story, you reskin the monsters, you translate the ideas, and you embrace the cinematic rules that make Savage Worlds a great system. You stop thinking like a converter and start thinking like a director, adapting a brilliant script for a new, action-packed medium. Now, you can run those world-famous adventures with the system you and your group already love. You get the best of both worlds. Epic, pre-written campaigns with a rule set that keeps the action moving. Let me know in the comments which D&D adventure you're planning to steal first. And if you want more advice on moving your favorite games, movies, and other media to Savage Worlds, check out this video where I talk with Christian Serrano, the writer of Eberron for Savage Worlds, about this process. And until next time, stay savage.